Masks of Gnarltep is set in the 1920s. We will be using terms and sayings from those times, including some that could be considered offensive. It is not our intention to offend, we merely wish to offer as accurate a view of the time period as possible. Welcome to the Nerds Domain presents Masks of Gnarltep. Join us each week as our investigators follow a path of clues and attempt to save the world from an ancient evil. Starring John Quiett, Justin Kimmett, Shirley Nedswicki, George Chipples, Jason Hall, and Scott Troiano, with me, Matt Quiett, running the table as the Keeper. Eldritch evils and crazed cultists await you just beyond this music.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Nerds Domain podcast, where Nerds Domain presents Masks of Gnarltep. Today I'm joined by Shirley.
Hello.
Scott.
Hello.
George.
Howdy.
Johnny.
Hi.
Jason.
Jesse.
Hi. There you go.
Nice.
We've merged Jesse and Jason together.
But our powers combined.
Wonder Twin Powers activate. You had to check the name again.
Thanks for coming back. If you haven't come back, you should probably go back and listen to the one before this, because if not, you're going to be a little confused.
Because we all lived. Yay.
So, to get right into the action, let's talk about what I forgot to do last time. Everybody needs to roll a sanity check.
Let's cool our
Why?
Because there's a dead body.
Really?
That's what's on page 2 for me.
I made it through the Great War, and I'm worried about a dead body? Are you kidding me?
Killed somebody in the streets.
We need to roll
We'll get to that in a
sanity,
second.
right?
Yes, roll below your sanity.
Sweet.
Well, then roll them together like you're supposed to.
Honestly?
Yes.
I made it through the Great War,
Yes.
and there's a... Wow. I killed a guy in a trench
Did
with
you
my
succeed?
bare... Yes,
Then
with
quit
my bare hands.
Hey,
Go ahead.
can you get off the ambulance?
What is a wambulance?
That's the sound it makes.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm the
If you-
immature one. Okay.
If you succeeded on your sanity check, you're fine. If not, you lose a point.
How do I succeed on my sanity
You roll
check?
under your sanity. Your sanity is currently
in my
a
characteristics
50.
and roll.
Holy cow, what happened to you, lady?
Not everybody rolled well, Scott.
Okay.
Do I get a mark
I'm
in
at
little
a
squares stating
75.
that I
I
succeeded in
believe
this
what
roll so I can
happened.
No,
get better
no.
next as we
One of these
progress?
days I want to read the book and try to correlate how sanity loss and low intelligence go together.
They don't.
Right.
It's power.
Okay. Power is force of will.
Yeah.
I have a high
And your ability to
intelligence.
handle things.
Right. But if I've
Therefore,
never
sanity.
seen anything, why is my sanity down? Like,
Because you can't handle things as much.
Because you've been led a sheltered life.
You're
Because
weak
you threw a chop and failed your humanity check. Moving
Oh,
along.
alright, got it. Those are words I can understand.
Now, Jesse and George, since you watched him kill a guy.
Am I going to have to roll this every time I kill a guy? Because I'm not going to be sane for long.
Yeah, I know. Roll it.
I rolled the exact same thing I did last time.
Okay, then you're both fine. These are what we call sanity checks. For seeing normal things like dead bodies or killing people, they're not that bad. When you see something horrific, it gets worse, because even on successfully rolling your sanity check, that means you could still lose sanity. Yeah.
Yikes.
So when you see the Great Cthulhu, you either lose 1d100 or 1d20.
D100, do you
Oh,
have
even if...
that?
Oh, and that's the difference between
Yeah.
making it and not?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, the police arrive.
Hold on.
Finally,
Wait, before we get there...
Finally, law and order.
Down. What?
That's what we need more of.
What?
Tell everybody where we're at.
No, they should have listened to the last podcast. They should be good.
Yeah,
Okay,
if you aren't
before the
keeping up at
cops get
home...
here-
So here's how it goes. You guys have found various papers in the stuff that was there. This all seems pretty important. Shirley, you'll want to share that, I'm sure, or
know.
you don't have to. So everybody, grab some and read it. I'll start with Shirley.
I found a business card over here. The Penview Foundation. Looks like it's in London.
Scott, you're familiar with the Penview Foundation.
Penview.
Oh, the Penview Foundation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Penview actually went on the Carlisle expedition.
Yes, there was a Pennu that was helping to fund the Carlisle expedition to Egypt.
Was that Edward Gavigan?
No, actually.
No. It was Edward Pennu, I believe.
Oh.
Actually, one of the Pennus was actually on the expedition, as I understand it.
Well, here's his card. He's in London.
Oh, London. Wonderful town.
All right, anybody else? Who's next?
I found a photograph. It appears to be blurry and grainy. There's a large yacht upon it, at anchor, surrounded by some Chinese junks. Maybe you would know more about this photo than I do, since you appear to know a lot about Chinese junk.
Chinese
or at
junks are a
least-
type of ship.
I know.
You know that.
Or at least
And I found
pretends
this bizarre
to.
symbol. Does my occult information
You can
bring?
roll it if you'd like.
Corporal, did you find anything useful?
I fail.
Not yet. Correspondence
91 over 80.
with our Mr. Carlisle.
Actually, the symbol, Jesse, that you found has been carved into the forehead of Elias.
Hey, there's a symbol on this
Oh,
guy's
Do I need to
forehead.
roll for this?
This kind of looks
don't
like
know.
that symbol.
No, I mean, what is it? Whatever it says on the
I
thing.
got
Oh, yeah, you can roll.
matchbox
Yeah, I get
over
it.
here.
Can I
This
see
kinda
that?
looks like
Can I
a
see that
symbol.
matchbox?
Oh, is that a cult?
Match.
Yeah.
A cult? So can I?
Yes.
as well? Fail.
Here. Hey, Ichabod.
Pass.
Okay.
Is that the same symbol?
No, this looks like Chinese junk again. Here, does this mean anything to you?
Something about 10 lanterns.
You're not super familiar with it, but you have an idea of where to look were you to go to a library.
I am going
Right.
to take
So
out...
I'll sketch it down in a book.
Okay.
I was going to do the same. I'll do the same thing also.
Okay.
I appear to have found a billboard for a lecture for the Cult of Darkness in Polynesia and Southwest Africa.
Southwest Pacific.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Southwest Pacific.
Mumbo jumbo.
It was to be delivered by Professor Anthony Cowles.
Anthony Cowles. Why do I know that name?
I don't know. I
He's
didn't
an
know that.
Australian,
Oh, the penal colony, yes.
but it's at NYU tonight at 8 p.m.
I think we should go. Sounds interesting.
Before the police show up, I'm going to return to leaning heavily upon my walking stick.
It's actually not tonight. You pick that up
Oh.
from the age of the paper. It's a little older.
I was like, it's tonight only. So.
You find that in the second volume of Andrew Dixon White's A History of Warfare. It's of science with theology and Christendom. It's in the beginning of chapter 14, the fetish from fetish to hygiene.
Okay.
Yes.
Letter.
Hey there, Court. Did you make anything out of that matchbox?
Yeah.
So, first, yes, I'll take a gander at this matchbox. It's Stumbling Tiger Bar, 10 Lantern Street, Shanghai Fun and Friends, and there's a tiger on it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm looking for the corresponding number. Hold on.
Does
there
the-
it is. Yeah, it is in Shanghai. You have been by there. You may not have been in there. It's a little rough and tumble for you. It's not the up and up, snotty kind of thing that you would have done.
Meaning not scoured and
Yeah.
white bread.
Yes, it's a pretty rough bar, but you're
Sailor's
familiar
bar?
with where it's at. It's one of the local factions. One of their favorite hangouts. You know that Shanghai is divided into several factions. It's one of.
oh, this is actually in Shanghai.
Yeah, that's in
Shanghai,
Shanghai.
Shanghai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Drunken monkey Shanghai.
Yes.
So, anything else? What else we got?
Does the private investigator attempt to engage us from anyone picking stuff up?
No.
off the
Once
floor?
he meets Mr. Weld, he lets you guys.
Oh, yeah, because I was going to say, okay.
Yeah, he lets you guys.
Because I was going to run interference while the corporal was gathering
No.
up
He
the
lets you guys
intelligence.
kind of pick through stuff.
Chain of command, you know.
I would tell him, Mr. Johnson, I appreciate your discretion, and, in the affairs of this nature, sometimes
you'll
it's
need
good.
to report all the findings.
Oh, of course,
Please,
and
of
I
course.
slip him a $5.
Yeah. It's a lot of money, though.
I slip him a $5.
Okay.
These are material possessions which are fleeting and
So he
immaterial.
hands him
Oh,
$2,000.
dear Lord.
Yeah.
Mr. Burns going to hand me I believe it's a telegraph from Marion Artwright at Harvard University in reply to Jackson Elias about a book he was looking for, but it doesn't mention the specific title. Teaching at Harvard, do I know this woman?
Yeah, actually you do. She is, she's one of the professors there. Or no, I'm sorry, she's one of the librarian. She's a librarian there.
Okay.
It does not, in fact, name a title, nor does it suggest a
No.
title either. And you know it's not a telegram.
Pass the
It's actually a
telegram,
letter
too.
because it's stamped at the top right with.
No, thank you.
The Harvard.
Well, dude, this isn't the
All right, well,
adventure I was looking for, you know.
When we have some free time, I'll give her a call.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
Seems whatever adventure we would be on has come to a short conclusion, would you not say?
Oh. Detective, there's a dead body in the alleyway. I probably should have told you that sooner.
Yeah, I saw.
Okay, good.
I walk over to the darky. Hello there, chap.
I don't think he's speaking our language.
Have you asked?
He's babbled, but ain't nothing I understand.
Do you speak civilized tongues?
He continues to look at you as though he's waiting for you to do something else.
Parlez-vous français?
No.
Can't get a word from him.
I'll try German.
Latin, Greek, Arabic.
Italian?
No.
Mandarin.
Nope.
Hindi.
Weldy.
Can
Out of all
someone
the
roll
languages
I was
psychology?
say cult in 1911.
Can someone roll psychology for me? All
Yes,
of you can, but
I can. I actually have that skill.
Good, because it's only a 5% chance
Yes.
here. No.
I can
My first successful roll.
I got a 26 out of 65. So I'm under.
okay. Anybody else succeed?
I didn't expect that out of the cowgirl.
Okay. The three of you recognize that he understands English. He doesn't understand anything else you're saying to him in the other language. He understands it. He's just not responding. So, and when you pull whatever, yeah, you hear a click of a hammer, and you look back to see the private investigator go.
I don't look back.
Okay.
I'm like, he's not going to.
And then he unbuttons the holster and starts to pull.
I take the tap, 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 tap on the guy's head.
I'm looking very closely at the man's eyes. Does his expression change when he draws
He
the
has
pistol?
the slightest bit of fear. If you had to guess, he's not very afraid of death. He's afraid of the pain coming.
Uh-huh.
Come now. I've killed many a man. I don't want to do more than wounding this evening.
I'm sorry, was that Captain Wilkerson?
Where
Yes!
is he wounded?
Please
I don't
holster
look
your
up.
weapon.
Where is he wounded?
Well, I'm in the middle of an interrogation,
Where
you
is he
say.
wounded?
Oh, wait, no.
He's not wounded.
He's not wounded.
Yeah.
This
I
was the
thought
one that we
he
boloed.
just
No, he
thumped on the
he
head.
got tripped up with the
the
ball.
guy I thumped in
No,
the
no, the
head.
guy he thumped in the head is dead.
Yeah, he thumped him a little hard.
With the stick
With
of
his
righteous
fist
awesomeness
through
or
his
something.
brain.
Mr. Wilkerson, if you do not put your pistol
Tap,
away.
tap, tap. When I tap him, does he say anything?
No, he flinches away just a little bit.
I put my hand on his pistol and kind of edge it aside. Say,
And it's Captain Wilkerson, sir.
good captain, I don't think that this is a man who fears death.
Oh, I wasn't going to kill him. I was just going to hurt him. Huge difference.
I don't think that'll make a difference with this one.
Well, he flinched. If you flinch, I start with the toes and work up.
He's got two perfectly fine kneecaps. He doesn't need both of them.
Start at the toes and
Is that
work
your
up, I
style,
said.
Mr. Botticelli?
It's a style that's worked in the past.
What I would expect from an Italian, yes.
As you
Quite
guys
right.
finish up going through the paperwork, is there anything else you guys want to read? Maybe
I'm going to try to persuade him before I put my gun away
Maybe-
to say something with the gun.
no.
No? Okay.
No.
I'm not even going to roll. All right.
I do
I'm
have
just
a-
going to generally search the room, see if we missed anything.
Sure. Was there a letter maybe from Egypt? You guys want to read?
Yes, there is a letter from
Oh,
Egypt.
and also that.
There's also... I have a business card here from an Emerson Imports, and on the back it is signed by a Silas Enruare? I might pass it to you. Pass it to Burn.
Okay.
Does that name sound familiar?
What'd you roll
39.
on what? Investigate.
So, Corporal, have we put anything together here yet?
47th
So
Street.
is he just
This
looking
might be a
at
good
it?
place to go. This is New York, at least.
He's
Right.
clearly not going to talk from everything.
So,
Well,
like,
it's-
even in the notes, if you said no, talk to him.
I'm not
he
sure.
wouldn't
It doesn't make any
The
sense.
police may be able to
Um,
get something from him, but it would take
To
hours.
me, the most interesting
You
thing
have
is
So,
I've forgotten that it seems our Mr. Elias actually has personal correspondence belonging to the missing Mr. Carlyle, who we were,
May I?
of course, who he presumably was hiring us to find. Have I ever heard of this Emerson Imports that is nearby?
no, but it's there's a lot of importing, especially
Sure.
smaller stuff that you wouldn't really. If it doesn't fit what you're looking for, it may not have ever crossed your path.
Right. Makes
So,
sense.
what'd you say, sweetie? Okay.
How did the man die?
Who?
The-
Carlisle?
Yeah.
He was beaten to death with sticks with sharp, pointy things in them.
Does this look like a ritual beating by chance?
No, but the symbol on his forehead is very ritual.
That symbol?
Yes.
Okay.
The one I already failed to roll on, so I assume I
The
can't
half
make another
circle.
roll on it.
Yeah.
The half circle there?
Yeah.
Or full circle?
It's a
Oval.
oval.
Anything I've seen in the bush in Africa?
No, not at all.
Okay.
But Mr. Weld thinks that maybe some checking into the library might help with that.
I have another question about the photograph. That we can only. It's got a large yacht. Is that a large
Sailing yacht.
Western
Yes.
yacht?
Yes.
Okay. And there's.
Am I familiar with the old quarter in Cairo?
You know that it can be a rough place.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially to Westerners. If you speak the language, you do all right.
Okay.
But if you don't speak the language and you don't have somebody there, you can get lost really
easy. Okay.
I mean, this isn't like New York or even London that are planned and then built. This was
Right.
just like, this house goes here, this house goes here, and it doesn't ever make any sense.
Okay.
So, in regards to the picture, it is very much a Western yacht. If you look at it, you'd have to guess it's English.
Which yacht?
The yacht in the picture with the junks.
Oh.
There's a grainy picture.
Steamer, cutter?
It's a sailing yacht.
Oh, sailing yacht?
Can
Is
I
it an
recognize-
actual cutter?
Yes.
Ooh.
Can I recognize where the picture was taken, possibly? I recognize from my travels.
Once you got there, you know kind of where you need to go, but you'd have to get a little closer to kind of figure out exactly where. You
No,
know,
in
about
the
city
photo, I mean, can I
region.
recognize where the photo was taken?
Yeah, it's Shanghai.
Oh,
It's on the river in Shanghai. It's just a matter of where on the river
yeah,
in
so
Shanghai. So
I will tell people that this is from Shanghai.
Yep.
This was taken in Shanghai.
Is it on the Y where the two rivers meet into the third?
no, it looks like if Mr. Weld had to guess, it's on the Wangpu River.
Okay.
Which I would mention.
I'm going to go ahead and search for like a missing journal, perhaps. This guy is an author. I can't imagine him not keeping notes of some sort. Like
You
around something.
give
Where's
me
Discussion about some
spot
sort of
hidden again.
talk tonight. Someone have that?
Oh, no. That,
Yeah,
previous.
30 over
Oh,
25.
no.
No, I just want to see.
There's a.
Just looking.
So that's from a while ago. So
Right,
that's
right,
not- I'm just going to throw this out here. I mean, it was.
Here's the business card.
Oh,
If you could put
what's
that in
this?
Penn Who Foundation, which is
Okay. In London.
Oh, and good show jumping from the fire escape and tackling that man
I
outside.
have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm sure you don't, but still, good show, sir.
All right. Well, I got nothing else because
And it's
this guy was.
It's
gonna
about
be an
that time the
investigation.
police come in and they usher you out and kind of split.
Take my military ID.
Yeah, and kind of split you apart, not into different rooms, just to keep you from concocting a story any more than you already have.
Before we go, I say a brief prayer in what sounds like some sort of Chinese-based language
Okay.
over the body.
I'm going to be leaning on my stick heavily, limping.
Okay. They split you up just a little bit. They start taking care of the room. They talk to the house detective, and they start talking to you. So, who wants to go first? Okay. The lieutenant, the detective that comes up, Mr. Byrne. It's good to see you.
You too.
What's going on?
Well, I was contacted by Mr. Weld, who is an associate of
the
the
gentleman in the pajamas.
Yes.
Okay.
He was my former lieutenant in the army. He wanted to hire me to assist Mr. Carlisle. That would be the deceased, or no, not Carlisle. Elias, Mr. Elias.
Okay.
That would be the deceased in some matter pertaining to the Carlisle expedition that disappeared in Egypt 5 years ago.
Okay.
We were to meet Mr. Elias here for the first time. When we arrived, there was some commotion within the room. We attempted to find out what was going on by busting in the door, and we found the gentleman tied up in there and his compatriot standing over a corpse, and they fled through the window. We apprehended them.
Give me a persuade. Actually, give me a credit rating and then persuade.
Nope, on the credit rating.
Okay, let's see here.
Missed the persuade by 10.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
Oh,
Mr.
Wentworth.
Wentworth. No.
Professor?
So tell me, Mr. Wentworth, what exactly happened this evening?
Well, we came up here to have a meeting with my old student's associate, and then these psychopaths kicked in the door with their guns blazing.
The gentleman in the pajamas.
Yes, gentlemen. Then this group of psychopaths kicked in the door. After that one said he heard something, and the next thing I knew, we had a dead body and a man being pushed back through a window with a bolo around his legs.
Can you verify whether or not your friends killed the man on the bed?
No, he was DOA.
Okay. Can you give me a persuade? You can give me a medicine.
Medicine. The ceiling is beige.
I'm so glad we've got a medic.
Go ahead.
Persuade or credit rating?
Give me a credit rating.
Credit rating is a pass.
Okay.
Persuade is a fail by 7.
You're fine then. He seems to buy your story. He's heard of Professor Wentworth. Everybody has, sort of. You have enough clout, essentially, that the fact that you don't quite talk him into it and you talk a little over his head with your techno jargon there, it's fine. He seems to buy into what you're selling. Who wants to go next? We'll let the brig go. Go ahead.
Reginald Wilkerson Winthrop III, Captain His Majesty's Royal Armed Forces.
Captain, what happened this evening?
We came up with Weldy.
The gentleman in the pajamas.
Yes, I apologize that he did not go out in civil attire.
New York is a boiling pot of different things. Go ahead.
Still, a man should dress right when he goes out for the evening. Came up here with Weldy. Heard some noises behind the door, didn't sound quite right. The gentleman decided to take the door down.
Okay.
To which we found two of the darkies fleeing through the window. They gave foot, chase, as it were. I tangled the one gentleman up, and they brought him back up here. Apparently, Mr. Jackson was dead when we walked into the room.
And the other gentleman.
Which other gentleman?
The one in the alley.
Oh.
You said you tangled one of them up. There were two.
Yes.
Of the darkies. What happened to the other gentleman?
I'm not aware. I was actually focused on the one that was tied.
Go ahead and give me a credit rating and then a persuade.
Credit rating is a fail. Yay. And then persuasion?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fail.
Okay. Who's next? All right.
They're like, okay, go away.
I was hired by Detective Burns as a consultant.
Mr. Byrne.
Mr.
I'm a detective. He's a mister.
Whatever you
Go
guys do, that's fine. Mr. Burns as a consultant. And I plead the fifth.
Yeah, there's not.
You please.
But I'm not in conversations. I
Yes.
think,
That that only works in court, right?
There's no what?
Yes.
You can ask for a lawyer.
They cost money, though.
It's just no law.
If we had law.
You can just roll law.
Anyway, we came up here as a, I want a lawyer.
They
Came up here.
cuff you.
I want a lawyer.
Before you cuff me, can you cuff me up front? I took an injury to my knee. I need to.
So they,
Support.
you mean you need the cane?
I need a
They
cane.
kick it from you,
I'll fall
scoot it
underground.
down the hall,
I'll fall on the ground.
and then cuff you behind your back and set you up against the wall. Who's next?
Are we able to see all this
Yeah.
happening?
Yes.
I would.
You do need to make a persuade though to make that fall look a little.
Hey, what are you doing to him? He's a cripple.
36.
Not the way he handled that fire escape.
No, you're not nearly as persuasive as you would like. So you're next then, ma'am?
Who leapfrogs off a fire escape.
So what happened tonight?
We came up and the three big guys, knocked down the door, and when we got in there, two men was running out the window, and we walked in, and some dead guy on the bed, and the
Ma'am, are you feeling hysterical? You seem hysterical.
I'm not hysterical.
Why don't you go sit down? Mr. Weld, I believe that leaves you.
So, while this has been going on, I've been standing on one leg with the other leg like this, staring at a wall, like right up against a wall, just staring at it.
Yeah.
And kind of murmuring under my breath.
Okay.
So it takes me a minute to register, and then I'll turn to the police officer. So, hello.
What happened tonight, Mr. Weld?
I look over at the bed. I look back. Kind of trying to shake something out of my head. Well, I lost a good friend, but he's merely passed on.
Tell me the
to another
process
life.
of this evening. How did you find yourself here? For what purpose? What happened in the room? What happened in the alley?
My friend, Mr. Elias, he'd contacted me about something involving that old Carlisle expedition.
Mm-hmm.
And so he made an appointment to see us tonight. So we came up. He needed our assistance, so I assembled a team of fellows who could take care of anything, I would think, and we heard struggle inside, so we thought it would be best to see what was happening, and we went into the door, and my friend was passed, and these other two men were fleeing out a window, carrying weaponry of some sort, a club, spikes.
Tell me what happened in the alley.
I gave pursuit, and I fell and hurt my ankle, and I didn't see much after that.
Give me a credit rating and a night persuade.
Credit rating meets it,
Okay.
I think. Yep. Persuade failed.
Okay. So they bring you all back. By this time, you've all been kind of taken downstairs. Some of you roughly. They take you down to the private investigator's office, the house detective's office. Kind of sit you all down. The Lieutenant Davies that you know.
I'm gonna bring his cane for him.
Oh, no, they have that. Don't
Okay.
worry. The Lieutenant Davies that you know sits you down and kind of speaks to you. You're all at the table, but he speaks to you.
Sure.
So the mark in the forehead we've actually seen recently. This is the 9th victim with that in the last 2 years. There's something wrong here with some stories.
Do they attempt to interrogate the boloed prisoner?
Oh yeah, they got really rough with him, hitting him and threatening him with guns, and he just kind of stared. Every time they hit him, he flinched slightly, but probably more from pain. He never cried out, no anything else.
I'm sorry. I've forgotten the mark on the body, the circle thing.
It's
there.
on the forehead.
On the forehead.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? How is it inflicted?
Knife.
So someone was carving. Did we find a knife on the gentleman in question?
You didn't, but there was
Okay.
one.
So the
Guys,
cops tell me that there was a knife.
So there's something fishy with your story here. I'm guessing one of you clubbed the gentleman out in the alleyway.
I haven't seen my lawyer here yet.
We'll assume that you did so in pursuing and trying to detain. Does that sound fair?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to let that go. Were it not for Captain Wilkerson and Mr. Weld here, you'd all be taking a trip down to the station and probably be booked on murder, at least one count, as well as, public indecency and causing a riot. We'd figure out something.
I told you about the clothes,
However, it's clear that you didn't kill the man on the bed. And the man that did get killed was not done purposefully. It was done to slow him down. And
Apprehend would be the word.
we would like to thank you for apprehending the other suspect. Yes.
Might I have the bolo back?
I'm not quite sure that those are legal or not. I'm going to have to check with my captain. If it's fine, I will, but if it's not legal here, I'm going to have to keep holding.
Certainly.
Can I have my cane back? It was a gift from my grandfather.
I'm sorry, I can't give it back until your lawyer gets here. You want to call him?
It's evidence.
Right?
Evidence in a...
I failed my law.
Mr. Botticello is in my employ, and I believe he'll be using my lawyer.
Yes, you can have it back. Mr. Captain, as soon as I speak with my captain, I'm sure that we'll be able to hand that back to you. I don't know.
Fair
I'm
enough.
not
Take your
about
time.
to
Take your time.
Hand
No.
off something that
Oh,
is not
absolutely. I understand completely.
interesting, to say the least. These
Quite useful, though.
killings have been tied to an African death cult.
North Africa.
I want to say yes. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure. However, it is something that we're working on, and I'm not sure that it's something that we're going to get a lot of information on. But we're Mr. Byrne to look into this. The city would pay your normal $30 a day.
Plus $20 for my associates.
We would be willing to pay your $30 a day. How you decide to split that up is up to you.
To what end?
Roll your psychology.
To what end? I failed. To what end?
Why? Solving the case would be great, wouldn't it?
I don't know. I mean, there's.
Those are legal.
I don't see.
Are or are not. Okay.
Apparently they were used in duels.
Oh, really? Interesting.
What's
What?
Yeah.
They are illegal?
No, they're
are
legal.
legal.
Oh,
They were
yeah.
used in duels.
Interesting.
Huh.
It's one of the reasons why I was like, ooh, goody.
I mean, I don't know. This isn't really my normal run of the mill.
$35 a day.
Hold out for 40, chap.
Look, it's been 2 years this has been happening, and clearly our
Aren't we
is not.
helping court out over here anyway?
I don't know.
We
I
aren't
mean,
up for hire.
well, we were hired. We were hired to talk to the deceased, and that's not really an option anymore.
I turn to you and kind of whisper, you and your... So hopefully the police officer won't hear, but probably still does. You and your associates will still be under my employ because we're still
We'll take it.
investigating. and
$30 a day.
Well, but my thought,
$30,
my thought would be this: if it's been going on for 2 years, would it not be worth the extra resources of $40 per day to at least bring a 2-year killing spree to a potential end?
You can roll either fast talk or persuade on that.
Yeah, persuade. I will take that.
Okay. All right, we'll throw you $40 a day. You'll not have the police's cooperation, but we won't get in your way either.
Well, I mean, if I have questions,
Oh yeah,
about cases
absolutely.
up
But
to
we're
this
not going
point.
to send some. We're not going to send some patrolman with you. Right?
Sure.
So,
Well, the police...
Corporal can handle himself.
Out of the handcuffs. With
okay.
locksmith.
Do you have locksmith?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
16, under 50.
And you could have just unlocked the door.
Now give
Probably.
me stealth.
Man of action.
Is there a stealth?
Sneak.
Running into doors.
You're trying to do it sneaky, right?
I am.
Yes. First try, thump.
29 over 10.
I'll let you have it.
Okay.
You pop it off, and as you're like, and he's talking, and then you're like, and he looks over at you just as you went,
Yeah. No.
and you kind of lay him on the table, and he's just.
Mr. Botticello, more and more talents every time we look.
So, I assume you're going to take care of this, Mr. Byrne.
We'll pursue it to its.
Fullest.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. You're all free to go. Just please stop by the police station later today, and I'm sure that they will be available for you.
Certainly.
If you need anything, you know how to get hold of me, Mr. Byrne.
Sure.
Okay. And he kind of turns and leaves. And the whole time, the house detective has kind of been standing back out of the room, but still within earshot. And he walks up and says, I would prefer that you all make your way out, and we won't be renting any room importance to you anytime soon.
I lean in. Mr. Johnson, please, any difficulties that might have been made with the door and the lock and such as that, please bill me personally and we will take care of it. It was only the exigency of the circumstance that demanded what we did. I give him my card.
I will
assume he's
speak
my
with the
information.
manager, and I'm sure you'll have a bill within the week. Thank you. And he kind of steps out and, like, waiting for you to leave.
Jolly good adventure, sir.
It's not done yet.
Oh?
Scott,
We have clues.
the more you think about it, your family has some ties to the Penhue Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Something's clearly going on here
Mm-hmm.
that involves the Penhue Foundation.
Mm-hmm. So our adventure's not over. What are our next steps then, sir?
We were put here into that room for a reason. We've accumulated certain ideas, clues, leads, perhaps. We have names. I think we investigate them.
Fair enough. It will lead where it will.
Yes.
So
Besides,
where-
I have more bolos.
Where to first?
I pull out the business card. This is in New York.
Which card is that? The
Import-export.
export. Emerson exports. Okay. You want to go straight there?
Unless anyone else has any ideas.
My only thought.
The matchstick thing wasn't in New York, was
This
it?
is in Shanghai.
Shanghai.
My
This
only
has some
question
names.
is my first question to the austere gentleman in the group. Does anyone know Miss Erica Carlisle, the leader?
Sister.
Yeah, the sister of the missing, murdered.
You might have met her at a party once. You're not sure.
Well, if I haven't met her, I know people who have.
Right. Well, I'm curious. The most curious thing to me was the fact that Mr. Elias had a piece of personal correspondence belonging to the deceased Robert.
That was the most curious thing to you? For me, it was the emblem marked upon his forehead.
Well, that's
For clear
9
reason.
other people have that mark on their head. Well, 9 other bodies have that mark on them.
Nobody
this was
living.
one.
For me, it was being invited for a soiree with the gentleman in question who was dead on the bed.
That happens a lot more often in my day to day.
Remind me not to invite you to parties, sir.
Indeed.
But New York has a fantastic library. I believe this might be one of the best places to try to research this symbol.
I might have an idea
Matt,
where we
before
can...
we leave the hotel, I'm going to call Harvard and set up a time to call the library.
Actually, when you call, they ask if they can just transfer you. She's in her office.
Sure.
At night.
Yeah,
It is
librarians. Yeah, it's
Okay.
a university library or
Yeah, they
university
work at
library.
night. Half of them are vampires.
Professor, what can I do for you? Are you here on campus?
No, I'm actually out on business. I have here a letter that you wrote to Jackson Elias, where he was apparently looking for a book, and you were going to help him find it.
I don't believe I wrote anything to Mr. Elias.
Elias Jackson.
Oh yes, no, you're right. It's been a few weeks ago.
About 2 months.
Time passes. Yes. If I remember correctly, it was about a book called The African Dark Sects.
Septs with a
Sects.
With a C.
But it's disappeared from our library several months prior to Elias looking for it. And it was quite mysterious.
Disappeared? Well,
And what other volumes were you going to reference for me?
That was it. Just the one book.
Okay. And do you know why he was looking into it?
No, but I'm a big fan of Mr. Elias. His books are very, very solid.
Well, alright. If you can remember anything else, you can feel free to get a hold of me by telegraph.
No, I will tell you that I wouldn't give this information out to most anyone. But you are a professor here. I will tell you that there was a an unspeakable odor in the collection the day we noticed that the book was missing.
Was it one of the freshmen?
No, I don't.
No, it wasn't very fresh.
I think so much like rotting meat.
Rotting meat.
Yes.
One of the hobos slip in again?
No, we've kept those out since Harvard has opened. Was there anything else I could help you with?
No, I may have some questions in the future.
Anything I could research for you?
African tribal cults.
Oh yeah. What? Anything specific?
Where's that?
Here.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna describe the symbol to her.
Okay. You describe. So it's two semicircles on either side with some.
Sort of a flower design in the middle.
Yeah,
kind of.
3 dots on the bottom, 2 dots on each side.
Looks like a face.
You may also want to ask about these guys.
Yeah, the Nandi and I can't pronounce that.
Who you?
I'll look into them for you. Sure.
And look up someone named Professor Anthony Cowell from Australia.
He is the anthropology
Yes.
at Sydney.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Anything you
I
can find for
believe
him?
he's here in the States on a tour.
Yeah,
Well,
yes. But
I'll see if I can find him for you and get that information. Now, where may I contact you?
what will we be saying?
The Ritz.
I will give her a room number at the Ritz.
You are at the Ritz.
Oh, wait, we've been kicked out of the Ritz.
No,
No,
you're
yeah,
at
You were kicked out of
Chelsea.
Oh,
Chelsea.
okay.
Who the hell stays there?
I'll give her the front desk number and our room number and
Then I will have something for you hopefully
Oh.
tomorrow or the day after.
Or give her a secondary number of the Waldorf, room 318. Just in case.
okay.
Always good to have a secondary.
So, anything else?
What was the name of that book?
African Dark Sex.
Okay.
It has been a pleasure speaking to you, Mr. Woodward. Professor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Albright.
The best sort of sex is
Okay, does that
African
book
dark sex.
name ring a bell at all? Or
surprise.
can I make a roll to see
What-
if I've
what
heard
name?
of the African dark sex?
It's a book about dark sects of Africa.
By
You can roll, sure.
Yes, the occultist failed on the occult roll again. 83 over 80.
It's
No,
the
no,
ancient leprechaun tales of Africa.
I can beat in people's brains, but I have no knowledge of it.
I passed.
What are we
It is not written by any author. It was translated, but the author is unknown. It was translated early 1800s,
Do we know where the original text, how old that would be?
somewhere in Egypt. It was translated from there, and the original text is expected to be maybe 50 years old at the time.
Okay. I communicate this to
Nah.
all and sundry.
So, you guys were talking about Rebecca or Erica Carlisle.
Right. It's probably, 10 o'clock now?
9:30, yeah.
Okay. Probably won't be
20
able
after
to see her tonight.
Okay.
Oh, she should be up.
No.
Yes, but it's best not to call upon a lady after a reasonable hour.
Oh, fair enough.
So let's find out more information about the business Emerson Imports
Okay.
and this name on the back that I can't read because of the printing quality.
No, that's actually how it's written. Literally, it's written that badly.
Oh, okay.
It's not a printing quality issue. It is actually.
I have a question. Could I, since my family business is, my extended family is involved in many things, one of them being shipping, could I possibly call a member of my family and see an uncle or something and see if they know anything about this export place?
Sure.
Silas and Ravane.
Okay.
You have to tilt it to the lower corner, you see. Other corner.
So I call my Uncle Bertie and ask him if he's ever heard of... I'm in New York and I'm looking to pick up something for my institute. Do you know of...
Roll luck.
Make it.
Okay. Yeah, it's that's a tiny little place. They mostly have connections with Mombasa, as well as a few other African nations. Well, not nations,
Tribes.
protectorates.
Mm-hmm.
You can, I believe that the address is 1 Ransom Court. You can find it at the Juju House.
1 Ransom Court?
Juju House. 1 Ransom Court, New York City.
I have a business card with a different...
Well, that is the New York. Yeah.
We have an address of 648 West 47th Street, New York, New York.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading my notes wrong. That is the U.S. agent. Emerson is the U.S. agent for an Mumbasan exporter named Aja Singh. Aja Singh. His address is at the Juju House.
And do you know of any Silas N. Rusain?
Ravane.
Silas. No. No. However, there's a Silas in Quiett who manages the Juju House.
And the Juju House is the African headquarters for this.
Yes. Well, no, I mean it's in New York.
It's in New York.
Yes, it's part of the. That's where the U.S. agent for the Mumbasan exporter. That's where they're at.
Ah. Well, thank you, Uncle Bertie. Hope Aunt Missy's well.
Oh, excellent. How is New York? Oh,
All right. Well, that's a rabbit hole.
So, what next?
Does anybody have any business to do tonight? Out of character.
Not particularly.
Make arrangements to meet with Erica Carlisle tomorrow at her convenience, of course.
What do I know about her age?
She's younger than Roger.
She's mid-20s.
Robert.
She is the sole heir to the Carlisle fortune because of Roger's death.
Who would be after her if she died?
Some cousin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not part of the story.
Is she a party girl, or is she in the family business?
Actually, she runs the family business. She's very, very prim and proper. Roger was the partier. She's not into that.
Curious.
So if we could make an arrangement to meet with her tomorrow, that would be appreciated.
I will try.
Are all of us going to go? Just you guys.
Would
I
you
think
be
we should
comfortable
all
going?
go.
I feel comfortable just about anywhere.
Good.
Will you take off your
hat?
hat, madam? Then perhaps just we'll go.
I'm going to go...
Miss Oakley never made me take off my hat.
Do I bear a striking resemblance to Miss Oakley?
Not in a million years.
Precisely.
Well, a little bit around the edges.
I'm going to put in a call to the police.
Then you can leave your hat on a little bit around the edges.
We just talked to and ask him about picking up the files for the other 9 victims found with the mark.
Anything else that you want from him?
Any information he has on Silas in
Quiett.
And Emerson Imports.
Okay.
Any information they have on the Penhew Foundation.
Okay.
And Mr. Cowley.
Mr. Cowling.
Cowley from the professor from Australia.
Oh, yes.
Might I also suggest you guys get some background on the Carlisle expedition? If you're going to call the police.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, as anything... Yeah, and, I mean, cross-reference. Not that they have that direct capability to the Carlisle expedition. I mean, that seems to be the... that seems to be the crux of the matter, is the Carlisle expedition. Yep. Someone is willing to murder an author simply for looking into it at this point. It's
time difference between New York and London?
5 hours.
Yeah. They're 5 hours ahead?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then I'll wait.
So yeah, it'd be like 3 a.m. there. And what are you gonna do? You can't call There's no transatlantic calling. You can telegraph.
Oh, there's no call. There's no
You can
transatlantic line yet.
You can telegraph there. That's fine. But other than that, there's not much else you can do.
Unless it's sending a telegraph at this point, say deliver it. And,
Yeah, I mean, sending a telegraph now, there's going to be somebody in the telegraph office to take it, and they'll deliver
when
it
you tell.
whenever you tell them.
Okay.
Then, if I remember my history right, they'll wait like 100 years and deliver it to a point they're told.
It was more like 63.
No, it's Back to the Future.
Yeah, it was like
1985 to 1980. Oh no, I guess that
No, it was 1955.
That's right. So it's only
72 years.
85 to 6. Fuck.
Let the IT guy do that.
Yeah.
Well, but that's what he said. He was like, we've been waiting. We had this in the office for, it was either 62 or 3 or 72 or 3.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to send a telegram.
I did.
the
I
only one
totally
on
did.
this episode.
Yep, that's the. We're done with the F bombs since we're keeping it PG-13.
What did,
That was
who
the
said
one I
what?
said it.
Oh, see? There you go. Thought it was going to be me. Nope.
Not this time.
I'm going to send a telegram to the Penhue Foundation. Attention, Edward Gavigan, Director. I'm going to ask for any relevant information that they may have on the Carlisle expedition. Stop.
Yeah. Okay.
Please forward to the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. Attention. Stop. Captain Reginald Winthrop Wilkerson III.
Stop.
Earl of Viscounty, etc. Stop.
Okay. All right. So that's all you guys are going to do for the evening.
Stop.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and take a break there. It's been another good hour. We want to thank you guys for listening. As always, you can email us at nerdsdomain@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at nerdsdomain. I'm at Quiett. Shirley is at sneds70. Johnny is at foolsmask. Justin is at j_Kimmett. Scott is at _Big Daddy T _. And George is at the Chimples. And Jason is a communist and has no Twitter. So, if you guys have any thoughts, you can always run over to iTunes and record those. Give us a review. Also, we have shirts available. Shirts for this show, as well as our regular website. And we encourage you to check those out over at tinyurl.com/ndshirts. Thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.